this is Dr. Sridhar back to you with another video session on network topology. This is in continuation to our electrical system analysis. Now, in my previous videos, we have discussed about various simplification methods to analyze the electrical circuits by using mesh analysis, nodal analysis, and star to delta transformation techniques, source transformation techniques, current division principle, voltage division principle. In continuation to this, we have one more method available for us to analyze the complex electrical networks, that is nothing but graph theory or network topology. Now, this is widely used in associated engineering branches even. So, let us start with the fundamentals required for better understanding of this network topology, which is nothing but the graph theory. Network topology is a graphical representation of electrical circuits. Not only electrical circuits, we can extend this network topology or graph theory technology for even computer science associated fields even. So that's why this network topology is very, very important, and we are going to use this network topology along with its fundamental knowledge to analyze the electrical circuits. So here we have given different topologies, that is T topology, H topology, pi topology, box type of topology, L topology, C topology, twin topology, twin T topology drawn as a bridge. So many configurations. There are lot of network topologies are there. Network topology is nothing but reducing or representing any network in the topology form. In the topology form means what exactly? What do you mean by that? Means now any elements, suppose in the electrical circuits, if you are taking, we have various passive elements. You need not represent the passive elements as it is. Now, in place of passive element, you can represent the passive element by a solid line. So that is nothing but once a line is represented or a line was represented on behalf of any passive elements, exactly we don't know what type of element that was, whether it is resistance or inductance or capacitance, we don't know. So the way of representing or the way of replacing the passive elements and active elements with associated branches is nothing but topology. So that topology can be done in various forms. That is, there are various types of topology shapes. Based on the geometrical arrangement of the topology shapes, we can say that T topology, C topology, H topology, pi topology, box type of topology, twin T topologies, etc., etc. It is useful for analyzing complex electrical circuits by converting them into equivalent network graphs. So network topology is sometimes it is also called as a graph theory even. So what is the need of what is network topology? And next thing we are going to discuss about why we need to learn about network topology and where do we apply this network topology technology. So there are so many analyzing techniques are available in the electrical engineering fields. Why especially this network topology is required? In what way this is very simpler than the existing methods that we are going to discuss in today's video session. So let us start with what is network topology. Network topology is arrangement of various elements, links, nodes, meshes, etc. of an electrical network such that there is no distinction between different types of physical elements of networks. Just now also we have discussed, you need not represent exactly the element as it is. You can represent or you can equivalently, represent the element with a solid line. That is a way of representing the network topology. It is based on the geometric pattern of a network. What exactly in what shape the basic elements were connected. So what is the geometrical arrangement of the various components? Now that is nothing but the topology. So based on that name only, that we are going to represent the network in the topology form. So that's why this is network topology. So network topology is the arrangement of various elements of electrical network such that there is no distinction between different types of element. Either it may be resistance or inductor or capacitance. There is no specific distinction between the parameters, physical parameters. Only whether it is inductor or capacitor, whatever it may be, we are going to represent that physical elements with the solid lines. So why we need to learn network topology? When a circuit is non-planar or complicated with large number of nodes and closed paths, then conventional methods like KCL, KVL, nodal analysis, mesh analysis, etc. becomes very difficult. So solving the electrical network, having more number of meshes in it, or having more number of loops in it, or having more number of current sources or nodes, more number of nodes means it is a time consuming process. It is not mean that it is not possible. We can do it, but it is a time consuming process. That's why we are moving for various reduction techniques, which method is gives solution in shortest path. I mean to say, in very less time, which method is suitable to get the solution. That is our intention. So actually we have started working with the series parallel configuration. Then after that we move to star to delta transformation technique. After that again we move to the source transformation technique, mesh analysis, nodal analysis. Like that we have moved from one method to another method in order to simplify the computation time. And not only that, now more effective analysis is required. So in order to achieve this, we have started our journey from star to delta transformation to this level. So finally we arrive to network topology technique. In this one, a complex network, suppose if it has more number of nodes in it, or meshes, loops. So what is our conventional methods? Applying the KCL or KVL, mesh analysis, nodal analysis is used to analyze the electrical circuits. Now this is a laborious process. It is a time consuming process if the difficulty level of the electrical circuit is little bit high. So in such cases, this network topology is a better solution. That's my intention is. And where do we apply this network topology? What exactly where this network topology is highly helpful for us? Network topology is used to analyze voltage and currents across various branches of an electrical circuit. More particularly, this network topology means for complicated circuits only. This is highly helpful. Not only that, you can use this same concept for simpler circuits also, but for the simpler circuits, now in its name only it is simpler circuits means we have plenty types of electrical reduction techniques are available. We have discussed in our previous videos also. We can make use. But if the complexity increases in the electrical circuits, this is a better solution. That's what my intention is. And especially this, where do we apply this network topology means, if you want to find out the current through any element or drop across that particular branch or that particular element, in such cases, especially that circuit must be a little bit complex, then this network topology is a added benefit for us to learn this network topology. So there are various associated parameters, basic terminology we require to understand what exactly this network topology is. This is very important because this terminology is a little bit newer to us, and the same terminology it will be helpful for us in solving complex electrical circuits and analyzing the complex electrical circuits, or to compute or to know the voltages or currents through the elements or across the elements. So first one is very familiar one is a graph. What exactly graph is? Network graph is simply called as a graph. So network topology. So topology can be start or it can be begin with associated term network graph. So graph is nothing but it is in place of network graph. We can call it as a graph. So it consists of a set of nodes connected by branches. So we know that what exactly node is nothing but it is the meeting point of more than one branch. Suppose if the two branches are there, now already we discussed that the branch has no sense. The branch is nothing but it is a solid representation of any existing parameter. Physical parameter can be represented with a branch. If such branches are meeting at one point, that meeting point is nothing but node. So it consists of this. What exactly the graph means? This is a combination, or this graph is nothing but it contains few number of branches and few number of nodes of the actual system. Now, what exactly the branch is? A branch is a line segment that connects two nodes. Sometimes only single branch may connect to the nodes. So suppose for example, now here between this node 1 and node 1, between node 1 and node 2, there is one resistor is there. So this is the physical element now having a value of R may be 1 ohm, 2 ohm, whatever it may be. Now if you want to convert or if you want to represent these elements in this network topology means now simply between node 1 and node 2, and this is 1 and 2, this is node 1 and node 2, and this is nothing but a branch. So here the branch is nothing but this is the solid line which exactly represent the actual physical elements. And in addition to that, this solid line or this is also called as a branch. This branch connects two nodes. The two pair of nodes, it can be connected. So that solid segment is nothing but this is the branch. Sometimes what happens, one node may be connected and it may be waiting for another node to be added. So in that cases also, sometimes this is node 1 and it is about to connect to another part of the electrical network or another part of the network. Then in that cases, this branch can be connected to one node also. That is the meaning of this particular one. So next point is any electrical circuit or network can be converted into its equivalent graph like this. Suppose here in this example, resistance is there and that is existing between node 1 and node 2, and equivalently you can represent by a solid segment, and that is nothing but the branch. Now that is also existing between node 1 and node 2. Now this is what is this? This is nothing but it is a part of the graph, and this is nothing but section of the network topology. This is what? This is nothing but the physical element. So this physical element or this is nothing but the physical element of the electrical circuit can be equivalently represented by network topology. Now if this electrical circuit is having only a resistor R, now how we are going to represent this electrical circuit in the network topology means between node 1 and node 2 solidly just represent. Now irrespective of what the physical element is there between the node 1 and node 2, that can be represented by a solid continuous line between the node 1 and node 2, which is nothing but the branch. Now this portion is nothing but, this is nothing but a section of network topology, or this might be the section of graph. So like this, we are going to reduce or we are going to develop network topology or networks, especially graphs of electrical circuit. So here in this process, we had to remember one or two thumb rules that will be very helpful for us to eliminate or to reduce the given electrical network with a network graph. So any electrical circuit or network can be converted into its equivalent graph by replacing the passive elements and voltage sources with short circuits. Means with short circuits means with a solid line of segments, and the current sources with open circuit. Now whenever we are come across with current sources, just simply nothing you have to place between the two nodes. Suppose this is nothing but like this. Suppose node 1 and node 2, and there is, this is one resistor is there, and between them if there is a current source, this is 5 amps of current source, and this is node 1 and node 2. Now how can we represent the graph of this electrical circuits means between node 1 and node 2. So one resistor is there, one solid segment, and next one is this another part is nothing but that is the 5 amps current source. So whenever you are going to see the current sources, nothing you have to represent, because current sources should be represented with open circuits. So, and whatever the voltage sources should be represented with a solid line. So all the passive elements along with the voltage sources should be represented with a solid line of segment. So those are nothing but the branches, and current sources should be represented with the open circuit. So it is not going to see any physical branch. So this is the method we have to follow to convert any electrical circuits equivalent to a graph. And one more important point is the line segments in the graph represent the branches corresponding to either passive elements or voltage sources of electric circuits only. Because now current sources we are not going to represent with its solid branches. So current sources are nothing but simply open circuited, and the remaining sources, that is nothing but the voltage sources and the passive elements, can be represented with the solid branches. So that is nothing but the solid line segments, that is nothing but the branch between the associated nodes. So in continuation to that graph, now we are going to discuss what exactly the definition of the graph and what are the other associated terminologies we are going to see in this network topology. So graph is nothing but it is corresponding to a given network is obtained by replacing all circuit elements with line segments. So already we have discussed, and we have discussed this with one simple electrical circuit also. So what is the rank of a graph? Sometimes now this is very helpful for solving the problems. Rank is nothing but the n minus 1. Now what is this n means? N is nothing but the number of nodes in the graph. So nodes means we know that is the meeting point of branches. So if you know the branch, if you know the node number of the given graph, we can easily find out the whatever the rank of a graph. Rank of a graph is nothing but n minus 1. N is nothing but the number of nodes available in the graph. Next one is oriented graph. Now, what is that oriented graph means? In its name only, orientation. So, if any branch or if all the branches in the graph are represented with the direction of the energy flow. Suppose, now in the electrical circuit, let me take one branch here. So, this is the inductor is there. Let assume this was there between the node 1 and node 2, and if the current is like this, then this is the electrical circuit. Now, if you want to represent the network graph for this, so node 1 and node 2 is like this, and the current is nothing but this is the current direction. So, this is the energy flow. So, if the arrow mark was not marked here, that might be a graph. But if the arrow is also marked on every branch, then that is nothing but the oriented graph. Oriented graph means if all the line segments, if all the branches are represented in a proper direction, then that is nothing but the graph is oriented graph. If each of the line or branch of the graph has a reference direction as indicated by an arrow mark, then the resultant graph is called as oriented or directed graph. So only the simple thing is, if the arrowheads are not there, if that energy flow was not clearly marked in the graph, that might be a graph. But oriented graph or directed graph means, not the oriented graph means the graph as a whole it will not be oriented, but in that graph the total number of branches will be there. Those are nothing but the line segments. That line segment, every line segment, if it is represented with its arrowhead, what is that arrowhead? What it is going to represent? It is going to convey us means that is the energy flow. So from which node to which node the energy is going to flow. So that is nothing but we are going to use the arrowheads to represent that. So this is nothing but if all the line segments in the graph or if all the branches in the graph are properly directed in one particular direction, those are nothing but oriented graphs or directed graphs. So next one is, what is the steps for drawing the oriented graph? So this also helpful for us. What is the steps for drawing a graph also? So if the electrical circuit is given to us, and if you want to convert that electrical circuits to a graph, what are the steps? Now oriented graph and graph means graph is nothing but no need to represent the direction of every segment, line segment or branch in the graph. But along with the line segment, if the branch and everything, if it is marked in a particular direction, that is nothing but oriented branch. So what about the construction procedures? So replace all the resistors, inductors, capacitors by line segments. Not only that, you had to replace the voltage sources by short circuit and the current sources by open circuit. Here I have represented these simple statement in 2 times because first point is talking about the passive elements, second point is talking about the active elements. So that only made me to write 2 separate statements. And third one is assume directions of the branch currents. Suppose now just try to for a while. Now what is the procedure we used to adapt to earmark the directions of the current in the mesh analysis or loop analysis? Arbitrarily we are going to choose the direction of the current in the loops. That is the same procedure here also we are going to assume. That is, assume the directions of the branch currents. Just based on your convenience, you can assume the direction of the branch currents. So, and last one is the name all the nodes and the branches. So here node numbers and the branch numbers is also very important. Numbers means you have to earmark with some letter for the elements, and the nodes are represented with 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers, and branches and elements. The branches are nothing but it might be the element. So these are going to represent with A, B, C, D, E like that, because I want to show some difference exactly between the nodes and the branches, which is nothing but elements. So that is last point is name all the nodes and the branches. So in continuation to that we have to discuss few more basic terms involved in the network topology. That is the planar graph. A graph drawn on a two-dimensional plane is said to be planar if two branches do not intersect or cross at a point which is other than a node. So if you could see the first one, this first figure itself, and this is very simple. This was drawn on the two-dimensional plane, and here, so there is no crossover, there is no intersection. So this is nothing but the planar graph. And next one is the non-planar graph. A graph drawn on a two-dimensional plane is said to be non-planar if two branches intersect or cross at a point which is other than a node. Suppose not exactly at the node. So at the node, crossing means it does not carry any sense, but in between the nodes means at any point on the branch or in the line segment, there may be a crossovers. If such things happens, those graphs are called as a non-planar graphs. And if there is no crossovers except at the nodes, then that is nothing but that is a planar graph. So that is a small difference between what exactly graph and what exactly non-planar graph and planar graphs. Now clearly we have given two different geometrical orientations of the planar and non-planar graphs. So in addition to this, we are going to discuss about the subgraph also. A part of the graph is called subgraph. So in the total, so first thing is the actual electrical circuit we are going to represent with a graph, and some portion of the graph, not exactly the entire portion of the graph we are going to take, and some portion of the graph, if you could draw geometrical arrangement, then that is called as a subgraph. Obtain subgraphs by removing some nodes and or branches. Suppose if you are going to remove one node, now suppose let me take here this figure only. Suppose if you are going to remove this particular node, what happens? Now there is no, now if the node is going to remove means this branch it will be eliminated, this branch also it will be eliminated, this is going to be eliminated, this is going to eliminated, this is going to eliminated. So in that cases what happens? Only now some portion of the graph it will be remained. So what is that some portion? So this node it is a part of the graph, and this node is also a part of the graph. This node is also a part of the graph. So if you are going to draw something, some portion of the whole network, so this is nothing but it must be a subgraph. So this subgraph can be obtained by eliminating one or two nodes based on our requirements or few branches or links. Now if you could do it, the remaining portion of the graph is nothing but subgraph. So the subgraph will be the number of branches and or nodes of a subgraph will be definitely less than that of a original graph. So original graph is nothing but this entire portion is this. So in this one, how many nodes are there? 1, 2, 3, 4 nodes are there. So nodes are 4 and branches are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there are 8 branches are there. Now in the subgraph, how many nodes we are going to see? So nodes is nothing but just 3 and branches is also equal to 3. So what do you mean by this particular statement here? The number of branches and or nodes of a subgraph will be less than that of a original graph. Certainly it will happen because subgraph we are going to achieve by eliminating or by removing 1 or 2 nodes or 1 or 2 branches. So 1 or 2 nodes or 1 or 2 branches we are going to eliminate means, so definitely the subgraph will have the nodes and or the branches will be less in the number as compared to the original graph, actual graph. So it is a subset of the branches and nodes of a graph. So it is a proper subgraph if it contains branches and nodes less than those on a graph. Suppose if you are seeing this orientation. So already now here we know the procedure to develop the graph from the electrical circuit. So this graph is directly given here. So node 1, node 2, node 3 and node 4. So node 4 and this is the node 1 and this is node 2 and this is node 3. So there are 4 nodes are there. And how many elements? 1 first element, this is second element, third element, fourth element and fifth, and there are 6 elements are there. So 4 nodes are 4 and branch elements are nothing but the 6 elements. So out of this, suppose if any one of the node is eliminated or removed, suppose if this node 1 eliminated, then what happens? Node branch 2 and branch 3 and branch 1 does not have any sense. So in that cases what happens? The remaining portion is nothing but remaining portion is node 2 to node 3 and node 2 to node 4 and node Now this is nothing but a one portion of the graph. This is nothing but the subgraph is nothing but this is the subgraph. This is completely a subgraph, because if the node 1 is eliminated, then element 2, element 3, element 1 does not have any sense. So this is the way of developing the subgraph. And next one is the proper graph. What is that proper graph? Proper graph is nothing but any portion of the graph, any portion of the subgraph that is a subset of the actual graph. Now it can be represented like this. Now here, now you need to, if you want to represent, you can add a node number, element number 6, or sometimes if you don't want to add also, no problem, because element number 6 also one set of subset of the graph. Similarly, this portion, this particular portion, this was marked here, this is also one subset of the graph. Now this cap 1, this upper shape is also one type of the subgraph. So it might be anything, but even if you are taking one element or element extended between the two nodes, that is also a one type of the subgraph. You can take any subgraph. Subgraphs you can develop in different manners that varies from person to person. Now that will be in our perspective. Now this is a subgraph. In another perspective, only single element number 6 might be the subgraph. So like this, we are going to develop the subgraphs from the given graph. So what are the types of subgraphs? Suppose now we know the graph. Yes. Next one is we have studied the subgraph, and what are the different types of subgraphs we are going to come across in this network topology. So there are two types of subgraphs are there. One is the tree and one is the co-tree. So formation of tree. So what portion of the actual graph or which type of subgraph is going to call as a tree, and what portion of the tree, what portion of the graph is going to call as the co-tree, that we are going to discuss now. So the branches of a tree are called as the twigs. So the branches of the tree is nothing but, first let me take what exactly tree is. Tree is a connected subgraph of a given graph which contains all the nodes of a graph, but there should not be any loop in that subgraph. So this is a very important strategy here. The formation of tree is very, very important. So let me take the same as it is, this particular graph. This is, the graph is having nodes are 4 nodes and elements are nothing but the 6 elements. So as per the definition of the tree should have all the number of nodes. So node 1, node 2, node 3, node 4 must be there, and whatever the coming to the branches, and there should not be any closed path. Such type of subgraph is going to call as the tree. Now see here, node 1 I am separately marking here. This is the node 1 and this is node 2 and this is node 3 and this is node 4. Right. So all the number of nodes we are going to consider, otherwise it won't be a tree. So all the number of nodes should be connected. Suppose this is the one subgraph area I am going to consider. Right. Next one is, suppose if you are drawing one more thing like this. Right. And if you are going to draw one more thing like this. So this is nothing but element number 1 and this is element number 4 and this is nothing but the element number 6. Right. So here, while developing this type of subgraph, in order to develop the tree, first thing is you should not remove any one of the node. All the number of nodes you have to consider, and at the same instant coming to the elements. Now if you are adding one by one element to the starting subgraph, so we have started by drawing element number 1. Right. Now we have added element number 4. Now if the element number 4, if it is added to the existing subgraph, that is nothing but element number 1, there should not be any closed path. Like that, you have to add elements by elements to the existing subgraph. If at any point, if you are going to find any closed path, then that won't be a tree. So that is very, very important. So if you are adding element number 4, so there won't be any closed path. And element number 6, if it is again added to the one more subgraph having element number 1 and element number 4, now there won't be any closed mesh or closed path. So this is one thing. And second one is, if element number 2, if it is added, then you can see one closed path. So that won't be a tree. And if element number 5 is added, if element number 5 it is added, then between 2 to 3, now you can find one closed path. So that won't be a tree. And if element number 3 is added, if element number 3, if it is added, then again we are going to find one closed path. So that won't be a tree. So this is one tree. And here, that one more important point we had to remember, that tree is nothing but not unique. So always this won't be a tree for the given graph. Suppose now one more tree orientation you can draw. So this is node 1 and this is nothing but the node 3. So this element I am going to consider, this is node number 2, and from node 2 to this one, this is element number 4. Sorry, this is element number 4. And again, if this is also added, this is element number 1. Now, right, like this. So this is the one more type of tree. Now here, this tree was developed again by using the 3 more elements, that is element number 1, 2 and 4. Now if adding this 6th element, then you are going to see one closed path. So that won't be a tree. That may be a subgraph, but that won't be a tree. And again, if the element number 5 it is added, if element number 5 it is added, then that is also a closed path. That won't be a tree. And again, if the element number 3 if it is added, then you are going to see one more closed path. So that won't be a tree. So this is the one set of tree. This is another set. Like this, you can develop. So there are a few more possibilities are there to draw trees of the given graph. So what I want to convey you is, tree is not unique. That varies from perception to perception. But there are few things we had to remember. So you had to start drawing the tree by taking the basic subgraph. So that must be a one element extended between the 2 nodes, and then again for the existing subgraph you add one more element, and you have to carefully see that that element is going to be added to the existing subgraph should not form any loop in the graph. If that is the procedure, if it is continued, and at any point if we are not going to see any closed paths, then the resultant is nothing but it is a tree. And while this formation, you should not forget any nodes in the process. If all the nodes of the actual graph it is considered, and if there is no closed paths, then the resultant is nothing but it is a tree. And one more important point is, the tree is nothing but not unique. It will vary from person to person. So what are the basic properties of the tree? Now there exists only one path between any pair of the nodes in a tree. Suppose if it is one more path, if it is added, suppose now this is the one element. So this is extended between the node 1 and node 2, and here as per the statement number 1, now only one path. And if you are going to take one more path, then what happens? Now it is a closed path. So this is not a tree. So that is the sense of the first one. And second one is, a tree contains all the nodes of a graph. So that is mandatory. No, nothing should be forgotten, and all the nodes we had to consider. If n is the number of nodes of the graph and there are n-1 branches in the tree. Now if you could see the previous strategy, there are n-1 number of branches should be developed to form the tree. And tree do not contain any loops, and every connected graph has at least one tree. So here we have also discussed the same thing here. Now how many number of nodes are there? Nodes are nothing but, there are 4 nodes are there. Node 1 and node 2, node 3, and this is a node number 4. So there are 4 number of nodes are there, and there are elements, 6 elements, and in this one the branches to develop tree is nothing but how many branches? So that is nothing but the n-1 is equal to b. So b is nothing but the 3. So that is nothing but the 4 minus 1. So see, this is the one tree developed by 1, 4, 5, and already these branches of the tree are nothing but those are called as the twigs. So that's why we have clearly marked. Now this tree, this is basically it is a tree developed with element number 1 and element number 4 and element number 5. So element number 1, 4, 5, those are called as the twigs. And one more orientation of the graph, if you could see, and this is also a tree. And what are the twigs? Means this tree was developed because of what type of branches? Those are nothing but the twigs. So that is 2, 3, 5. So like this, we can develop few more trees also, and we can clearly mark what are the tweaks for that particular tree orientation. So in continuation to that tree as a subgraph, we have one more, that is the co-tree. And what are the links and what links of the graph and what are the chords of the graph we are going to discuss now. Links or chord, the branches that are removed from the graph while forming a tree are termed as links or chords. Suppose in the previous case, if you could see, now in the first orientation, we have removed the element number 2. So once that element number 2 was removed, for what sake? In order to develop the tree. In order to form the tree, sometimes we had to eliminate few branches. So that branches are nothing but the links. So the elements were removed in order to avoid the formation of the closed paths in the graph in order to develop the tree. So that elements what are we have eliminated, those elements are nothing but the chords or links. So suppose if you are taking this particular graph, now there are A, B, C, D, E, F. So 5 elements are there, 4 nodes are there. Now what is the tree? Suppose if you are taking the one tree is formed because of A, and next one is D, and next one is B. So this is the tree, one thing. So exactly it looks like a T shape. And what are the elements we have eliminated? E you have to eliminate, because if E is added between the node 3 and node 4, then we are going to see one closed path. So that won't be a tree. So in order to form this particular tree, we had to eliminate few elements from the graph. So the elements what we have eliminated, those are nothing but the links or chords. So what are the elements we have eliminated? Suppose if C is added to this tree, what happens? We are going to see one closed path. So that won't be a tree. So C we have eliminated in order to avoid the formation of the closed path. And next one is E also we have to eliminate, and F also we have to eliminate. So this is nothing but this is the one set of links or one set of chords. So if you are drawing these things also, suppose generally the chords or links are normally represented with the dotted lines. These are not the continuous lines. So dotted lines are used to represent the links or chords. So suppose if that is also drawn clearly with the, so this is the node number 4 and this is the node number 1, and this is the one more element extended 2, 3. This is the element E and this is the element C, and one more point is nothing but this is the F. So this is nothing but this exactly, this is called as a co-tree. So co-trees, in that co-tree, what are the branches? What are the branches we are going to see? So the branches of the co-trees are nothing but the links. So the links, in another way, it can be defined as the elements were removed in order to form the tree. So it is nothing but the co-tree. So this is the complementary to each other. If you are adding tree to the co-tree, now finally we are going to see the complete graph, original graph. That's the meaning of this. And we can analyze the same thing with another case of another way of drawing the tree. So in this one, A is used and D is also used and F is also used. So this is nothing but this is the shape of the tree. So what are the branches of this tree here? Those are nothing but the twigs. A, D, F. So A, D, F is a set of twigs. And these are the branches of the tree. And what are the links of the co-tree? So what are the elements of the co-tree? So what are the elements we have removed in order to form this tree? Means C we have eliminated, B we have eliminated, E we have eliminated. So C, B, E, this is the set of links or chords. So these are the way of marking links and twigs. So this is nothing but the procedure to develop the trees and the co-trees. In addition to this, we should remember few more important points. Now the co-tree is a subgraph which is formed with the branches that are removed while forming a tree. Hence it is called as a complement of a tree. So just now also we have discussed, if tree and co-tree are added, so finally you can see one complete graph. The graph is constituted with links known as the co-tree. For every tree, there will be a corresponding co-tree and its branches are called as links or chords. These are all these things we have discussed. In general, how many links the graph may have? So means how many number of elements we have to eliminate in order to form the tree. So how many number of links are required to develop or to form the core tree. So that is also mathematically it can be find out by using L is equal to B minus N plus 1. So what are the B here? So totally branches, and N is nothing but the number of nodes, and plus 1. So if you are using this formula, you can easily find out the number of links that will be there in the core tree, or what are the sides of the core tree. Those are nothing but the links or chords. So clearly we have marked here L is equal to number of links, and B is equal to number of branches present in a graph, and N is equal to number of nodes present in a graph. So this is the procedure to identify the core trees. And suppose as we know that core tree and trees are added, so finally you can see one complete original graph. So this is about the basic introduction to the network topology. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching this video, and this is very helpful for understanding further video sessions. Thank you very much.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.